Access to medical care is becoming more and more of an issue here in Guam, and it doesn't even matter if you have the ability to pay. It's getting harder to see a doctor, to get an appointment, or to get the specialty care that you need. So I want to show you a growing solution to a growing problem. They're going to go out of their way to help find you a solution. And they've been growing their clinical services. Aside from this place looking and feeling homely, like this is their waiting area. Like, I don't think that people really understand that they do full clinical services here. Like, this is one of their clinical rooms. Look how nice it is. You get your vision exam here. So do you need to see an OBGYN, get family medicine done, internal medicine done? This is all stuff that's done here at the Total Guam Foundation. And just to tell you again, this place is not for profit. This is the psychologist's office. Yes, they have a psychology department. They also do psychiatry. It's an entire mental health department that they have here on top of all the other clinical services that they provide. If you need medical care, if you're having problems getting a doctor, getting an appointment, call the Todu Guam Foundation at 649-TODU or 649-8638. You can visit them on the first floor of the Sunny Plaza building that's next to Sunny Outlet and behind the old Bank of Hawaii building in Tamuning.
Good Morning Show with Troy Torres is brought to you by 76 Circle K Guam.
Good morning, and thank you so much for joining us live for this special Thursday news analysis. My name is Troy Torres, and this show normally is around 8 a.m., and I say around, it's scheduled for 8 a.m., but I've been taking some liberties and, coming on at like 8:03 or 8:05, sometimes at 7:59, and anyway, it's supposed to be at 8 a.m. But today, as I announced yesterday, this was going to be late because we're waiting for the live stream from the Crown Plaza Hotel, where the Guam Women's Chamber of Commerce is about to start the first gubernatorial debate or gubernatorial forum of this election season. We don't know what the questions are. We don't know who's participating, but we anticipate that they've invited all 5 gubernatorial teams to this forum. I don't know if it's just the governor candidates or it's the governor and lieutenant governor candidates, but this will be very interesting. I wonder if they'll bring up the whole GVB thing, since that is a highly woman-centered issue. There is a woman who is claiming that her constitutional rights, her equal protections under the law have been violated. And so I wonder if that is a subject that is going to come up, and how each of these gubernatorial and lieutenant governor candidates are going to answer questions about that. That'll be a very interesting thing. Also, issues related to pay and access to different things throughout this government, different services, different rights that this government has afforded or not afforded over the past several years. I'm curious what all of these issues are and how it will affect the election, which is less than 2 months away. The election, remember, is on August 1st. Not that much time for our voters to get themselves up to speed and educated about what each of these candidates stand for, and also to review their past performance and their records. Forums like these give us an opportunity to see it. It's not like a complete opportunity, because it's just you're getting answers that take a lot more detail within a constricted period, but it at least gives us the elevator pitch. and their ability to answer questions under pressure and on the fly, which I suppose says something about their ability to negotiate with other people, especially with the federal government and with investors, potential investors to come into the island. And so, yeah, we're just waiting for the Guam Women's Chamber live stream to start. It was supposed to have started at 8:30. We got word from within the room that it's going to start closer to 9 o'clock. And so we'll just continue first with the remainder of the commercials, and then I'll just keep looking at the page to see. I'll keep refreshing to see whenever they start, and we'll go from there. Anyway, we'll run with the commercials. Stick with us. Hopefully by the end of the commercials, the debate would have begun.
Guam AutoSpot is extending our overstock sell-off with the hottest deals on island, like our 2025 GMC Canyon with $4,000 off, or slide into a brand new Mitsubishi Eclipse Cross, starting at just $24,995. September is your chance to drive big and save even bigger. Visit us today or get pre-approved online at guamautospot.com or call 478-AUTO. Guam AutoSpot, where the savings never stop.
Miss Amanda Alley, the Governor of Guam. Hi, good morning, everybody. How's day? Okay, so I am new. Okay, I'm new to the board, new on the mic, so you hear me shaking a little bit because I'm nervous, and everyone here is amazing and known for things. Oh my goodness, where am I at? I have no idea. Anyway, so I want to thank you all for being here today. I think we're all really excited. Welcome to the Guam Women's Chamber of Commerce Members in Action Series. Hold on, I'm getting Instagram. Don't forget to add us on Instagram too, okay? We have a lot of followers, and our live is actually going, our Instagram live will be streaming when the forum starts. Okay? It's already. That actually was meant to happen. Okay, so this is our Members in Action Series. This is our second series. We're going to start first with a warm welcoming to our candidates who pretty much just made this all happen, because without you guys showing up and giving us the yes and the green light, we wouldn't have this event. So today we have Lieutenant Governor Josh Tenorio and Senator we have Speaker Frank Bosch Jr. and Dr. Mario Cotto. Vice Speaker Tony Atta and Edward John Calvo. Senator Joseph Monson and Senator Dwayne Smith. And Senator Sabina Perez. Candidates, thank you for stepping up for our island, our people, and our home. We look forward to learning more about you and why we should consider your team as the next governor and lieutenant governor of Guam. So now before I start with updates, I wanted to give a special shout out to Crown Plaza Resort and their staff, because the logistics of this was pretty hectic. Everyone wanted to come. And they were just on call at the time. Even if you saw the woman that was here, right there, the lady is here. Thank you so much for everyone who got to accommodate and to Mr. Jose as well. And then also to a good friend of mine, his name is DJ Kogi, who, when we knew that there were so many people, we were like, okay, we need to be able to sit everybody, so we asked for the overflow room, and, he helped us out by making sure that we have sound there. So, check him out, he's at a drop. Thanks, Sam. And then also for Danica, our administrative director, who was really one call away from every pivot and getting it together. It truly is a sweet reminder that being part of a community is much more than just belonging, but actually doing something together that makes belonging matter. Because our members matter, the future of our island matters, and who leads our communities matter. Okay, so with that, I'll roll into the meeting notes. Okay, so as we grow, we need support, we need help. So thank you so much for our annual sponsors, Ambrose, Profair, GTA, KUAM, PDM, Goodwill Funding, Bank of Guam, Addis Trust and Investment Inc., Trivision Media Group. And since we're going to be doing this really quick, usually our monthly meetings, if you guys become a member, then we have this every month. So if you have any questions that I bring up or just anything about the Women's Chamber, please check out one of our board members. And all the board members, if you're here, please raise your hand so that we can see you. We have our President Miracle, President and Vice President, we have Julie, who is not President, Corinne, Dina, Michaela, Amber, Jamie, Barbie, Teeny, Tina, myself, and then we have our Administrative Director, Danica, and our ex officio, Sam Taitino. So if you know any of the ladies or have any questions, please talk to them. Our new members, we have Jane Flores, Melody, and Viola. If you're here, stand up and say hi. And so some of our member benefits are provided here. You can scan the QR code, which is going to lead you to our website. But really the main part of this membership really that I have experienced so far is that endless opportunity to network. So if you're interested in doing that, we'll bring up other membership benefits, but please scan the code. And then we have our membership rates. Also, we do individual students. So if you know anyone who has the grit and the will to keep going and wants to grow and wants to have that network to support them, please encourage them to check our website.
And we have prorated rates.
And there's prorated rates until June. Thank you. One of our member benefits is having the group health insurance with Calvo's Insurance. Calvo Select Care, sorry. If you scan a QR code, you will then be directed to the health packet. And then every Tuesday and Friday until the month of June, we have our co-working hours at the at the Women's Business Center in Hagania. And then because we have the series of members in action, we did have the Congressional Forum in May. Today we have the gubernatorial. On June 27, we had the Legislative Forum. This is a little bit different. The committee had voted to invite new candidate senators. This is not including the incumbents and the former, so the floor is open to new candidates. We're going to give them the space to share their platform. Okay, and then also we do, shout out to the GTA girls in the corner there. Every meeting that we've had so far, we had a voter registration table. We encourage everybody to, tell them, come and vote, come out, let's go, let your voice matters. Oh, if you guys want now, then you can register for the 27th. And then I will also be hosting the July book club, and the book is called The Power of a Woman's Words. It's a lot. It's a heavy read on how much your words matter to people and how it can grow people, it can nurture people, and even though you think that they can't hear you, they can. So really being aware of the things that you say to people and your first impact on people matters a lot. So this book, I encourage a lot of mothers and teachers to do this because the book has a lot to do with children and how our words are going to help them grow and encourage them, which, they are our future. So. And we do have the Vernacular Film Allowance Committee. Anyone who is interested in helping us build and support the Vernacular in October, I believe. We're having it in October. Follow us on Facebook. Yeah, sorry, announcements will come out. But if you would like, we do need people to help support us for this initiative that we have every year. And if you're interested, just scan the QR code or see one of our board members.
Specifically Amber.
Amber. See Amber. And Mary. Okay, so we do have a lot of events coming up. However, we're pressed for time, so I really wanted to just point out that for our July monthly meeting, professional development is going to be holding this room. Okay? Yep. All right. So before we get too excited, hang on. Okay, so at this time, I would like to call our candidates to the front stage. Okay? And then we will move the chairs for the moderators and the timekeeper.
Depending on the time.
Hello. Okay.
It looks like the Guam Women's
Is everyone
live stream has
comfortable?
been having a little bit of difficulty.
Are you comfortable or cozy? You good? Okay. Okay, so I just wanted to say a few words before I pass the mic to our moderator, Ms. Eva Cruz. Okay, so we do not endorse any candidate or political position. Ms. Eva Cruz is our moderator for today, has final authority in timing, order, and interpretation of the rules. Participants must follow all her decisions. Timekeeper for the event is our government co-chair, Eileen Cruz. She's right here in the middle. She'll be holding up the signs for you
Switch
guys.
their names. Their names are wrong.
Questions. Please wait, audience, please wait until the designated period to ask your questions. Simply raise your hand to be heard. Candidates, Eva will provide further directions for this segment prior to beginning. Okay, so audience questions should be respectful and concise. Claims must be supported by credible sources. So please cite a reminder, okay? Courtesy, respect, and hospitality are at the heart of the Women's Chamber community. So please join us in upholding those values and treating everyone here with kindness throughout the forum. Okay, so I'm going to pass it over to Ms. Eva.
All right, so let's give a round of applause for Amanda, who really worked so hard to put this together. All right, Cisas Masitolas, Manana Cisas, thank you for joining us to engage with our leaders regarding the future of our island. I will be your moderator for today, and I'll take this time to go over our equal time and process for this panel. We will have 3 rounds or allow a single speaker for the entire set if they prefer. To begin, the order of candidates will be drawn by chance, and the order will be maintained through the round. Okay, let's see who's up.
First is San Augustine St. Nicholas.
Okay, so you'll be first to respond.
First to respond, okay? Next is Terlahi Perez. So 2. Ada Calvo
Ada Calvo.
is third. Blas Okada
Last Okada.
and Tenara Munia Barnes. That is your order.
So that is your order. This order will be maintained for round 1 and 2. For the duration of our panel, each candidate will receive the same amount of speaking time, and we really ask the candidates to hold each other to that by staying within their time. And the time will be kept by our timekeeper again, Ms. Eileen. We've placed her right here in front. We are on. She will use this very kindly. Thank you for your answer, and we'll move on. Each candidate will have 2 minutes and 30 seconds to respond. Candidates, please begin your answer only after the timekeeper shows you the go, gives you the go. Okay? Candidates may not address other candidates and are asked to speak only in the order that they have drawn. Audience, we ask that you please do not interrupt any of the speakers and kindly withhold your applause until the round is complete. And we will have 3 rounds of questions. All right, so we've determined our order. We will start, before our questions, with a 2-minute introduction. Candidates, I invite you now to please introduce your team and tell us why you're running. Senator San Augustine, first. Hello.
All right, thank you. Women's and holiday all, especially the Guam Women's Chamber of Commerce. And Douglas just wants for inviting us to participate in this forum. I am Joe Simpson Snowson, and together with Dwayne Nicholas, we humbly ask you to vote on August 1st, number 3, as we seek to serve you as the governor and lieutenant governor of Guam.
I'm sorry, it's the Guam Women's Chamber Instagram feed that is having the connectivity issues. They're live streaming from the Crown Plaza Hotel. This is not our. Oh, sorry, that's me. We're just waiting for it to come back online. This technical problem has interrupted Senator Josen Augustine's opening speech. Hopefully it comes back online soon. We're just standing by. I mean, I can refresh the page and see if
We
that. Oh,
entered
no,
this
there
race
we
to
go.
answer the call for carnival.
Oh, it was working for a couple of seconds and then, geez. Let me refresh the page and see what happens.
I am Joe Simpson Snobson, and together with Wayne Snickers, we humbly ask your vote on August 1st, number 3, as we seek to serve you as the Governor and Lieutenant Governor of Guam. We entered this race to answer the call for carnival.
It looks like their live stream has stopped. They're having some connectivity issue over at the Crown Plaza. This is very unfortunate. We did ask if we could go there to cover it. They said that media was not being invited to cover the event because they were going to live stream it. Yeah, I can try to refresh it again, but it's probably going to just go back to that one portion of Senator St. Augustine's speech. Let me refresh.
I am Joe Simpson Snobson, and together with Wayne Snickers, we humbly ask your vote on August 1st, number 3, as we seek to serve you as the Governor and Lieutenant Governor of Guam. We entered this race to answer the call for carnival.
Yeah, I'm sorry, guys. I don't know what's going on. I have sent a note to a couple sources. Oh, here we go. Here we go.
Uppity. We're so happy, Senator Perez and I, to be.
I've been married to my wonderful, beautiful wife back there, Annette. She's all the way in the corner. We celebrated 40 years last year. We have 4 children and 2 grandchildren. And this is where we want to make our home, and for them as well.
My name is E.J. Calvo. Don't call me Edward John. That's what my mom calls me. So I am running for Lieutenant Governor of Guam alongside Senator Tony Adam. And I am married to Jackie Baza Calvo. We are celebrating our 27th anniversary next month. We have 3 children, and they are the inspiration for me to run for office and make change on this island. I am an entrepreneur and a businessman. I'm also a former chairman of the Guam Economic Development Authority, where I served for 10 years on that board. And you'll recall, during those times, our economy was thriving. Our tourism industry was healthy and growing, and we got things done. So I'm excited to work with Senator Ada, to work with our legislature, our representative in Congress, our business community, the Guam Women's Chamber, and together we can turn things around. And not only that, we can take Guam to new heights. Thank you.
Good morning to all of of you, I'd like to personally thank the Guam Women's Chamber of Commerce for hosting this most important conversation. My name is Mary Ann Young Okada. I've spent 30 years in the government of Guam, the past 18 years as their president. And during this time, I not only provided accountability, fiscal, and grant management, but also provided businesses with opportunities to train students, both at the high school and secondary level, post-secondary level, not just for Guam, but for our region. During this time, I also supported businesses and led an organization that's focused on student success. Student success by providing conducive learning environments, inclusive of sustainability features, and providing fiscal stability for the organization. I believe that I have proven myself and actually delivered results. And so at this time, I'd like to introduce my partner, Speaker Frank Blas Jr.
Thank you, Mary. You know, from day one, Guam's going to need leadership that knows and understands the issues. Leadership that recognizes and has had the experience to make critical decisions. Leadership that's been trusted to do the work with the resources they have. And all the while, recognizing that the community serves a vital role in a lot of these decisions. And their voices matter and they care. With my background in law enforcement, emergency management, and disaster response, I responded to crisis and I helped individuals and people get out of the trouble that they're in and get the help they need. With the partnership that Mary and I provide, we provide to you, combined with our experience and our strengths, to do the best. And we're asking for your support and your help in getting us to Avenue in January. Thank you very much.
All right, Susan Mossy candidate. And now we will begin with... Oh, I'm so sorry. Last but not least.
Afternoon, good morning, everybody, and thank you for this opportunity to have this conversation with you. I'm Josh Tenorio. I've been serving for the last 7.5 years as your Lieutenant Governor. Each day that I wake up, I know that there's an important responsibility I have as one of Guam's leaders to push this island forward. I reflect on that every day to try and do my best. Guam's future is not certain. There are many challenges and opportunities ahead of us, and I believe that our team has the drive, the commitment, and dedication to get things done. I've asked Senator Tina Muñoz Barnes, a distinguished legislator, somebody that has compassion and dedication to the people of Guam, to help me in this effort. And I would like to introduce her to you.
Situs Masi, Manana Situs, everybody. Ladies and gentlemen, we are the team who will continue to give our hearts to you, be with you, and stay with you. We will help Guam be better and do better. And there is so much passion around us, and I'm most humbled at the fact that 14 out of 19 mayors support the team of Josh and me. And I want to say that that's a true testament to their belief that this team will help our families where it matters the most. Our top priority, ladies and gentlemen, is you.
Our administration will be focusing on building Guam's future. We will be building a hospital. We will be rebuilding JFK and Simon Sanchez, I apologize. We will build affordable housing, but most important, we will build bridges throughout our community. We're about unity and not division. On August 1st, please vote for us. Situs Masi.
Within your first year.
It'll be There you go. Share the mic.
Okay, I got the mic. Thank you. There are several things we'd like to accomplish in our first year. First, we will work to streamline government service and, if necessary, reorganize the government of Guam. We will work to improve services, create a true one-stop for business and where all departments are present and available to process new or renewed applications and create working satellite branches for GovGuam services, such as motor vehicle and driver license, among others. We address opportunities for federal programs or grants for government and private sector programs and services. We will work toward identifying and securing grant funding for programs that will assist in addressing the multitude of concerns across the island, from educational opportunities, mental health, business-related initiatives. We will assist in bringing funding to help supplement the programs that exist and boost new services that are needed to address community needs. And lastly, for years, Guam has faced major drug problems. In the first 100 days, we will address the government as a whole. In line with the GovGuam's drug-free workplace, we will order drug testing across GovGuam, starting with ourselves. Every GovGuam employee will be required to undergo the testing. Thank you.
If elected, what do you plan to accomplish within your first year?
First, appoint competent, compassionate leaders with performance expectations to deliver efficient services to help families and businesses succeed and to improve their quality of life. Government-wide transparency and accountability with online open data. Simple, common sense that not been done in the last 7 years, including audit findings and tracking of corrective actions, contract tracking and monitoring of deliverables, timeliness, quality, and expiration, renewal planning to avoid loss of service or emergency procurement, such as what happened at Revenue Tax. Track federal grant deadlines with a dashboard to ensure federal grants are not returned. Inventory leases in vacant government buildings and reduce lease costs. Online tracking of violations for all regulatory agencies, as we have mandated for EPA, for accountability and to deter violators. Procure for real this time an online viewable permit tracking system to reduce wait times. Update the Village Streets Master Plan to prioritize the repair of highest risk roads and hazards, faded markings, potholes, missing signs, with online trackable progress and convenience for the community. Focus the CLTC on issuing residential leases and installing sewer and other infrastructure with existing funds and as authorized with USD partnerships to maximize affordable housing on its properties and surrounding properties. Fight the scourge of meth in our community by reducing the drugs coming into Guam by enforcing cargo seals for all inbound ships. Full support for customs tracking, strict enforcement, and penalties. Shelter all unhoused children. Open and maximize all shelters, emergency housing, drug rehab, treatment and prevention services. Partner with the mayors, EPA, DPW to clean our streets by implementing the abandoned vehicles and universal trash laws we passed and facilitating citations and AG prosecution of violators. Diversify our industries, including identifying the land and infrastructure for value-added manufacturing in tariff advantage zones. Prioritize and invest in pipeline and meet trade missions for this purpose. Expand healthcare coverage through the community health centers, Manila Clinic, Medicaid and enrollment initiatives, and incentivize health coverage for private sector employees. Pursue public-private partnership for GBMH, dependable and subsidized workforce transportation, and continue the gas tax relief and the real property tax relief. It is small.
Want to repeat the question?
If you remember, if elected, what do you seek to accomplish in the first year?
If elected, we will restore confidence that our government can produce results. As a businessman and senator, I've learned that success requires goals, accountability, and getting the job done. We will implement our platform, known as Guam First Agenda. focused on strengthening our families, protecting our communities, and building our economy. Our first priority will be to address the cost of living. We will strengthen local food production, reduce our reliance on imports, and pursue solutions that will improve energy affordability. Housing will be a major focus. Guam has a housing problem, and until we increase the supply of homes, affordability will remain out of reach for the working family. And I know there's many of us in this room as well. We will turn around and streamline permitting, work with public-private partnerships, and accelerate new housing constructions that will lead to more opportunities for both renters and homeowners. The Atacama administration will improve government accountability and transparency by establishing performance standards for agencies, strengthening oversight of public funds, and launching a government transparency dashboard. At the end of our first year, I want the people of Guam to see measurable progress, greater accountability, and a government focus on delivering results.
We will also cultivate safer and stronger communities. We will support law enforcement. We will fight the war against drugs. And we will repair, maintain, and harden our critical infrastructure. The government of Guam needs to be more responsive to the people, and we will improve customer service, especially at that DMV line. In addition, I'm very excited about this, and I know you are too. We will save the tourism industry and grow our economy again. We will implement a new tourism recovery platform that will be centered around investing in our beautiful attractions and facilities so that we can aggressively pursue opportunities in destination development that highlight our culture, sports tourism, entertainment. There are so many initiatives that we're going to get done in the first year, but by the end of our first year, you will see a difference and you will be more optimistic about the future for Guam. Thank you.
During the first year, the Blas Okada administration will be looking for qualified individuals to lead the government agencies. Their immediate task is to identify and dust off all the strategic plans that currently exist, and then develop short-term goals and long-term goals. And if there is no strategic plan, then begin the process of creating one, so that through this, all the activities that are necessary from each of the government agencies is in full motion. This will guide the level of accountability that is required from government services and their evaluation. In addition, we will explore opportunities for public-private partnerships to improve healthcare and the hospital, including mass transit systems and school modernizations.
We also recognize that tourism has played a major role in our economy. We will embark in an effort to be able to rebrand and reimagine tourism as we provide it in Guam. We have a Guam Experience initiative that we want to be able to launch, where it brings the community together. The community becomes involved in selling our island and showcasing our island, because if you build it, they will come. We will also look to improve and to reinvigorate the relationships that we have amongst our partnerships, not just in the local level, but regionally, nationally, federally, so that we can take advantage of the opportunities that exist for all of us. Again, one of the things we want to do is take a look at the different plans that we already have in place. And let's, if the plans work, even if it has another person's name on it, if it works, let's deal with it and let's work it. It's what's right for the people of Guam, and that's what the Blas Okada team will provide to you in your first year. Thank you very much.
Our first year, of course, will start by focusing on maintaining and expanding our federal partnerships. We have an unprecedented opportunity to secure federal funds to push in infrastructure, to put our transmission lines underground, to expand water and wastewater lines, to get grants to build a hospital and to make sure that Guam's infrastructure is ready for the future. That means making sure that our executive budget, which we will also submit, is going to open the door for new investments. This includes expanding first-time home ownership incentives. It includes a refresh of tourism, directing funds into what we are known for the best, the Chamorro culture of Guam, making sure that we differentiate ourselves from the other jurisdictions, and making sure that we set the pathway to realize a full-time vocational high school, which is going to connect our kids to careers even before they graduate. In a partnership, we also have an opportunity to pursue new industry. And my partner, Senator Tina Muñoz-Barnes, has authored and initiated many initiatives to diversify the economy.
That said, ladies and gentlemen, build industries. I established them as senator, will make it happen as lieutenant governor, because in the executive branch, we will make sure the good laws I wrote become reality. These are already good laws on the books: home kitchens, locally shot films, transshipment, medicinal cannabis, bottle gum, and others.
I just want to also add that the relationship we have with federal government, of course, is very complicated, but it's very necessary. You have to be in the room to try and shape federal policy. You have to mitigate and make sure that Guam's needs, our environment, and our culture are protected and advanced. You have to be able to be trusted in order to secure federal funds from whomever it is in government, either party, be able to work with the delegate and to empower the business community and community groups to make sure that Guam's agenda is never going to be forgotten. That is the leadership that we will provide. Thank you.
Candidates. Our second question dives a little deeper into our specific community. What concrete steps would your administration take to advance women in business on Guam? And how would you track progress and ensure accountability?
Okay. For so long, from the home front to the workplace, women have always had a pivotal role in building up both the family and workplace. Today, we are seeing great outcomes in the role women play in business, and we are definitely blessed by this. Our administration will pursue federal grant programs and funding to assist women own or other businesses enhance or build up their ability to provide essential services and products for our people. We will seek out these grant programs and provide you with the information and assist with your applications to submit the best application toward the best outcome for our work.
I'm going to stand up for this because I don't care how many times I do this, my heart just wants to jump out and run across the room. Still need that these days. But first off, if I become your lieutenant governor, well, before that, I'm going to have my wife join the ladies within Chamber of Commerce. And then I'm going to take you guys under my wing, because who's better learn business from than a jolly good man? And we can explore businesses together and ways to enhance our island. And so, you know, you can't give away what you don't have. I have a lot of joy. I have a lot of happiness. It's the only reason why I wear red all the time is because it makes me happy. And I want to build a community, and I want to impart on you that for ladies who are going to run a business, look to improve the lives of people. Solve problems. That's where you're going to make the most money. And it's really, for me, if you ask me, it's not about money. I told my wife, we just need to make enough to eat spam and rice, and we'll be fine. But, the successes actually come when you care for others, when you're looking out for somebody. We started our business during the pandemic, when people didn't feel safe. We brought out the solar lights and even the uncles felt safe. And that brought great joy to me. There's other stories that I want to tell you, but I only got a couple more seconds to sum up my entire life. How many more? I got 10 seconds. But thank you. I'm here to support you all. I want to see you all succeed. There's nothing, like I said, that brings me great joy to see you all succeed. Thank you.
We know that women comprise a big part of our workforce, both the private and public sector. roughly about 8,000 women are in the service industry, whereas 6,700 women are in the retail industry. So what that tells us is that we're really concentrated in very few industries, and what our administration would do is we would like to diversify our economy, whether it's through tax incentives or training programs. So while these, in addition to exporting, so I think export economy, we need to develop our export economy, which will bring more revenue into our government, whether it's high value added products or exportation of added value manufacturing, so that women can have higher paying jobs and new entrepreneur opportunities. We also recognize that women play the biggest role in child care and elderly care, which has an impact on them to advance in the workforce. And so what we as an administration would do is provide affordable child care, increase micro grants for entrepreneurs, increase and diversify training supports for caregiving. We would like to promote all federal programs such as USD, SBA grants, and streamline the process so women-owned businesses can certify, pre-qualify, and be able to avail of these huge, profitable federal grants. We would like to also line up, protect, any government scholarships so that we can ensure this pipeline of high-paying jobs exists. And to track progress, we would create dashboards showing the outcomes, the allocation of the success stories of our advances in ensuring women increase their workforce and involvement and participation.
We're fighting over the mics up here. And thank you. This is a personal issue to me because I grew up in a family business where women played the critical role in its success. My mom, my sisters, and now my wife and Ed have all demonstrated leadership and determination that strengthened our business, our families, and our community for over 54 years. Because of those experiences, I've always believed that when women succeed, families grow stronger, businesses are stronger, and our island becomes stronger. At Calvo administration will focus on removing barriers to prevent women from fully participating in the workforce and advancing in their careers. We will expand access to affordable health care. We will also support after-school programs and strengthen workforce training and ensure that more women have pathways to high careers, high-paying jobs. Most importantly, we will measure results. Outcomes will be reflected in more women entering the workforce, advancing their careers, growing business, and serving leadership positions. We believe Guam already has extraordinary women in leadership positions in both government and the private sector. The government's job is to move out of the way, don't hold them back, just create an opportunity so they can continue to succeed.
I'm an entrepreneur, so in addition, I love to help entrepreneurs and people grow businesses. GITA has programs today, and I know them well. They connect entrepreneurs with financing, mentorship, grants, local lenders, and government should be a partner in helping businesses grow and not holding them back. In my family, my wife, my mother have done successful careers in real estate, but they've also run our households simultaneously. They are my inspiration because they never stop working, but most of all, they demonstrate how to balance work, life, and family. So we are going to be supporters all the way. Thank you.
As your female Lieutenant Governor, I want to be the champion for women. As a founding member of the Guam Women's Chamber of Commerce, the organization was built and established to provide business opportunities for women through advocacy, through networks, through mentorship, and finding resources and sharing of resources. We should engage with the Guam Women's Chamber of Commerce to find out what their issues are and help them resolve them. We need to find out what their barriers are for employment. Daycares, elderly care, transportation are some of the few or the key areas. And find solutions to help them advance their career goals. We already have a proven model that help women. Through founders Monica Guzman and Lorraine Okada, they established GUMA. They are a model that can work for women. Advancement for women's support, funding should be available. And as recently, additional funding was garnered through the Department of State through the advancement of women entrepreneurs that was headed by Denise Mendiola. And that provided mentorship for women from across the Pacific Islands, helping them to establish their businesses, find out ways that they can grow their businesses, and providing the networks and the mentorships for them. One of the things that we need to find out is that we can't just identify women as contributing to the workforce. Women are drivers in the workforce. They move the industries forward through active engagement. That's what women do. This is apparent when you include women at the table to make the necessary decisions. They are involved in decision making. And so all of this, their evaluation, we asked the Guam Women's Chamber of Commerce to help us identify clear diversity targets that can be evaluated and shared with women together.
Well, the first thing is to make sure woman is on the ticket. Make sure that women's perspectives are going to be part of everyday government. In these last few weeks, I had a chance to attend majority of the high school graduations. And except for 2 schools, one of them being FD, the valedictorians were women. And what's inspiring about that is that from their speeches, I can understand, I can hear what their motivations are. So as government, we need to empower them to be able to pursue those with academic scholarship and with opportunities to become entrepreneurs or professionals. But that also means that we have to strengthen supports in families. So our initiative to establish Programang Paninan and expanding child care services in the homes facilitated women to get back into the workplace. I'm leading an effort that is responding to women in recovery, those that are about to be reunited with their children, giving them housing and long-term supports so they can get past their burdens and get into success. I'm very privileged that I have a woman, strong woman, who's my partner, that is going to do a whole bunch of initiatives.
Thank you. My door is always open to problem solve. That's how I helped 2 women open their intergenerational daycare center here. That's how I helped local students save money pursuing their medical degrees through the Western Interstate Commission for Higher Education Professional Student Exchange Program, and that's how I successfully passed legislation that legalized medicinal cannabis, and there's so much more we can do together.
Thank you, candidates. Keeping on the topic of women and empowering women and women's rights, our next question. What is your stance on reproductive health policy in Guam, including contraception access and abortion services, and how would your administration implement that policy?
You know, every election we always struggle with these questions about abortion and women's rights. And you know, it's something that I've thought about really great deal, you know, because as a school counselor, you know, I've listened to girls who have gone through trauma, sexual trauma. Joy and I, first off, I'm going to say that, you know, I can't even run over a frog, you know, let alone put some child to harm, you know. I couldn't do it. And so Joy and I are both pro-life. but we want to protect your right to make that decision for yourself. You know, as a counselor, you know, abortion is very traumatizing to the woman many years after, you know, she has gone through the procedure. So Joe and I are going to do whatever we can to be compassionate and, you know, provide the necessary programs to assist our women in that regard. And so I want to let you know that, you know, Joe and I are very certain that we will control rights to choose. Thank you.
According to Public Health sworn testimony by their career nurses and former acting chief public health officer, pregnant women's and children's health care in Guam was greatly reduced by the extended closing of the Manila clinic. I fought hard to reopen Manila and all the community health centers, and despite a funded refurbishment design due in February, those continue to be delayed. I was able to pass a law to ensure that the community health centers are now independent, or they will be independent of politics, and they can prioritize services according to the community needs. And they have done so in hiring an OBGYN right now. And while the Supreme Court of Guam and Guam law currently allow access to abortion services here under very limited conditions, Guam law also contains some of the strictest provisions, including consultation, counseling, disclosure, and reporting requirements. Our priority as a government will be to focus on alleviating the conditions that make pregnancy for women a crisis. And we should provide full support for children born on Guam, including the 700 foster children currently in our system. As a lawyer and a senator, I've worked hard to increase financial, medical, housing, transportation, support for foster children, shelters, adoption, legal protection, and counseling assistance to women and children in order that they will feel supported in their time of need. I've passed laws deterring the repeated release of criminal sexual conduct offenders, strengthening CPS and victims' rights, and increased drug rehabilitation programs, and inexpensive reform to ensure customs can intercept drugs and that we can stop the scourge of meth that is really creating a crisis for our community.
I believe in the sanctity of life, and I believe every human life has value, including the unborn. That belief is rooted in my faith and my family values. As governor, I will uphold and follow the law while ensuring that women have access to legal health care services and accurate medical information. As a father of 3 daughters and a daughter-in-law who are all young adults, this issue is personal to me in another way as well. I want every woman on Guam to have access to quality health care close to home, so families don't have to leave island to receive care that should be available here. Our administration will focus on improving healthcare access, expanding maternal and prenatal care, supporting adoption services, strengthening family support programs, and ensuring women have access to legal contraception and reproductive health information. For years, we've talked about improving healthcare access, but too many families are still forced to travel off island for care. The Atacama administration will focus on delivering measurable improvements so women and families can access services they need right here on Guam.
Guam is ultimately subject to constitutional and federal legal standards regarding abortion. We will respect the law while focusing on policies that help women choose life by making sure they're not forced into difficult decisions because of financial hardship, lack of health care, or lack of support. Our administration's approach will be centered on compassion, respect, and practical solutions. We may not all agree on this issue, but I believe we can agree that fewer unintended pregnancies, healthier mothers, stronger families, and better outcomes for children should be what we all share. Thank you very much.
Believe and support the sanctity of life. But we also recognize that while we're pro-life, it doesn't mean taking away a woman's dignity and the right to choose. I think it is incumbent upon our administration, incumbent upon government, to be able to provide the necessary, the educational resources necessary to make those decisions, and to provide a strong, supportive network, so that this decision doesn't come out of fear, doesn't come out of rhetoric, but comes out of the person's decision, rightful decision, and recognizing what services are available, how to get the support, and to be a better person. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, a long time ago, when I was 17 and unwed, I had to make a hard choice. And I chose life. I will always choose life. But I believe that the government has no business making that choice for mothers. That's a decision between you and a doctor, you and a priest, or you and your partner. Whether you need reproductive health care, or mothers need prenatal social services, or children need help escaping abuse, our administration will be there to lift you up. Because our focus also needs to be on expanding affordable childcare, on supporting women who work from or run a business out of their homes, or on youth programs.
That is our unified position on this matter. And in addition to protecting the rights of women, by the way, these rights are under fire right now, the most violent way we've ever seen in the nation. But we also do things to help support girls and women who do choose to raise their families. One of the big things that is going to occur on July 1st, we finally have a Medicaid waiver that authorizes Medicaid to pay for doula care. So we can expand the ways that we could provide supports to women. We also need to make sure that when we're pro-life, all of us here are pro-life. Pro-life also means providing care and services to families in need. It is true that there are many more unsheltered people that need help. And the way you help is to expand program supports and provide opportunities to engage the nonprofit community, government leaders, and individuals to push that agenda. That is our responsibilities as sons and daughters of this island.
Mrs. candidates for your insight on that issue. And this will be our last question for this round. What institutional reformations would you pursue to address the challenges of Guam's education system, which is projected to shrink as the school-age population declines? And how would you manage impacts on students, teachers, and affected communities?
Thank you for the question. You know, I was a school counselor, and so I saw all the challenges that the schools face. You know, I was down at Southern High, and I was walking through the campus, and I was like, wow, this kind of campus should work like somewhere in the northeast of the United States, you know, where it's cold and students walk through the campus. And I was like, this doesn't work for Guam. I know, and you know, there's other things that we can make reforms in, especially when it comes to special needs kids. You know, my wife was a special ed teacher, and I was a school counselor, so we would always tag team with the students, and we had a lot of successes. But you know, with the impending school closures, you know, it brings a lot of I think about that a lot because some of that stuff is down south, and those are the schools that produce me, you know. And the kids down south, they still honor me, you know. They still respect the elders. And you know, that was the one thing that was really wonderful about working at Southern High. So what we don't want to do is burden people with the types of decisions that we might make. So we're going to have to make sure that we do everything we can to not burden our school population, our parents, and our teachers. And
you know, ladies, I was on the Board of Education for 6 years and I was the chairman. I fought against FQ sanctions down in the matter for closing. And they closed it. And it all came down to management. Management today, when they talk about the 6 schools, they need to know why they're closing. And they need to be able to express that to everybody on gathering. They need to be able to explain everything that's going on down south, because I'm telling you right now, those schools do not need to close. That's my opinion. I've seen those schools. They just need to know how to manage it. Reorganize, you know, if you got a teacher 4 down south and you really only need a teacher 3, then move them. It's all about management. It's all about money. And if that's their excuse to close it because of money, readjust, realign, put people where you need to put them, and move on. Because there's many other issues up north. You don't need to burden the south. Take care of the south and everything will work its way up north. Thank you.
First, I want to say that if I am your governor, you are never going to hear from me that helping our school students is outside of my jurisdiction. Second, you're never going to find that I'm going to take money out of GDOE. GDOE teachers, staff, aides, principals, parents, they've worked so very hard in very challenging circumstances to bring our aging facilities up to sanitary codes, to convert to online during COVID, and many other challenges. And I will give them my full support. As to consolidation of schools, we should work so that our families decide to remain on Guam and our schools will actually grow. The goal of education is to ensure that these children are going to perform skills for their grade level and be prepared for higher paying jobs. Any discussion to reorganize should be centered on learning outcomes. If students are doing well, let's not disrupt them. We should avoid any diminished learning outcomes or any negative impacts on teacher-student ratios. There are many benefits, especially to the younger children in these village-based schools. And these schools reduce burden on underserved populations with shorter travel times, ability to participate in sports and after-school programs, lifelong friendships. The schools benefit from the village community support. And the villages are benefiting as well economically from the schools.
As to reforms, I've been a big proponent of magnet schools in our GUE system. And what that means is a school within a school concept where we expand career pathways to what currently exists. And also to make sure that we are putting competent people in positions of power to make sure that Simon Sanchez is rebuilt without further delay. You know, all facilities, whether they're consolidated or not, should really maximize the learning opportunities. And so as the population declines, I see the opportunities for businesses to lease these spaces where they can also provide real-world experiences for our students so that we can expose our youth to STEM careers, which provide higher paying opportunities, and even expand entrepreneurial activities. In regards to consolidation, we need to have an honest discussion, and it cannot be determined unilaterally, and must be discussed with our community, and that is very critical. It's just must.
Education is a high priority for us. And we've been speaking to a lot of administrators, teachers, students, even mayors, and we've heard it today. There is a growing frustration and a lack of trust in the board of the Guam Department of Education. In the last year alone, they reported over $26 million in lapsed funds, on top of $21 million in expired federal education funds. Those funds should have been spent in our schools and invested in our students. It's unacceptable because facilities are breaking down, school years aren't starting on time, Academic scores are far below the national average, and we're still dealing with double sessions. At the same time, new schools are closing, and Simon Sanchez is not getting built. And the Board of Education decides to give the highest salary in the history of Guam to the new superintendent. Meanwhile, teachers are still underpaid and paying for their own school supplies and repairing their own classrooms. So, the Education Board and the schools have to focus on the foundation of our community. And if there's anywhere in the government of Guam that needs reform, that needs change, I would start with the board of the Department of Education.
The reform I believe that can have the greatest impact for our public schools is site-based management. Principals, teachers, parents, and school communities should have a greater authority to make decisions that directly affect their students while remaining accountable for the results. I support Senator Borja's bill that transitions the board from elected to appointed. Because if the governor is going to be held accountable for educational outcomes, there should also be greater accountability within the leadership structure responsible for managing our schools. And with respect to the proposed school closures, I don't support it, not at this time. A transparent plan needs to be presented, and there not has been public engagement with the communities. They've been left out. Our focus should be on improving student outcomes. We need to ensure that resources are reaching the classroom, support our teachers, strengthen our academic performance, improve school safety, and better workforce. At the end of the day, every decision should be guided by one principle: putting students first. Thank you.
Well, before I turn it over to a lady that has got passion with education, you know, one of the things that we have, the reality is that the governor's office really has a very little control of education. But it doesn't say that we can't put the resources and we can't create the synergy to be able to deal with the issues that currently exist within the education system. I'm going to take up too much of her time, so I'm going to give her the mic now.
Well, thank you very much. As we start to recognize that the school populations in some of the particular schools are decreasing, across the island they are decreasing. So we need to take a look at what assets the government of Guam has. We need to take a look at what the laws are regarding the Adequate Education Act. There are 14 points in the Adequate Education Act. And what it means is that all students are entitled to an adequate education. Not only the students up north, not only the students at Central, but all the students, including those down south. So as you look at reform, you need to take a look at what can you do to maximize the resources that you currently have. Taking into consideration that there is a collective bargaining agreement that must be followed in addition to the Adequate Education Act. So take a look at what surrounds you. And if the bargaining unit contract needs to be changed, then make efforts to change it. If the Adequate Education Act needs to be changed, make efforts to change it. Take a look at the scores, the student test scores, and provide intrusive intervention so that students can be successful. Let's focus first on the student. What does the student need to be successful? How do you take the student from when they enter the public school up into graduation? How do you support that student? And if it means realigning resources and taking down facilities that are no longer salvageable based on an assessment, then let's take them down because they create a safety hazard for students that remain on campus. So let's maximize the resources that we currently have so that we're not wasteful, so that we can provide education to students so they can succeed.
The question is about Guam's education network. Guam's education networks includes public schools, charter schools, private schools, and higher education. And schools and churches are the hearts and souls of every single village. So with the population decline and vacant classrooms, we repurpose the classrooms to Tina introduced legislation to have intergenerational daycare. Seniors can be into those schools. We can create intergenerational learning opportunities, but also create an economic base for families to continue to stay in the South. Another reform I believe is pushing into vocational education. And Mary did a great job at GCC doing vocational education in the public schools. And we can even do better by having a full-time vocational high school that is focused on careers and jobs. I'm a graduate of GCC when it existed. I had a job as an accounting clerk by the time I was a senior in high school and I graduated, which means that I had some baseline skills that helped me throughout my career wherever I went, and I still went to college. You can do all of those things. Charter schools we must embrace. Families have finally an opportunity to select a school that focuses on STEM or STEAM, or for that matter, language improvement. Tina has been one of those senators that has increased the effectiveness of charter schools, and she'll talk to you about that.
Ladies and gentlemen, the goal isn't to have fewer schools. It's about building a stronger, more sustainable education system that improves student outcomes and protects taxpayer resources. I am the proud co-author of the charter school law, but I don't accept the charter school succeeding means DOE is failing. DOE and through fundraising by its foundation, we would press DOE to use those tools to help address needed funding and establishing good public-private partnerships. Thank you.
And by the way, teachers need to be paid good, so continue increasing their pay.
All right, Jesus Masi, let's give a round for all of the candidates and all of the answers. All right, we're gonna move forward at the speed of light for our lightning round. Candidates, you all have your yes or no indicator. That was a trick question. You're supposed to raise up your yes. Okay, we're practicing for the lightning round. Gotta make sure everyone has their muscles and their reflexes on go. Okay, so one more time. Does everyone have their yes? Almost. Okay, because we're going to try to get through this just like clockwork. So the questions have been shared with you. We have time, so we're going to run through them as quick as we can. And then we will move on to round 3 where we open the floor to everyone else. Are you ready? Are you set? All right, hands on. Here we go with the lightning round. Our first question. Do you support requiring cabinet-level agencies to hold a college degree? Number 2, do you support simplifying access to federal grants for Guam businesses? Number 3, do you support policies ensuring local businesses and workers receive a fair share of federal investments tied to military spending? Number 4, do you support changes to the Jones Act to reduce the cost of goods to Guam? Number 5, do you support increasing funding for mental health and addiction treatment as a part of Guam's public safety reforms? Number 6, do you support reforming Guam's juvenile justice system to emphasize rehabilitation and reduce unnecessary confinement? Number 7, do you support continuing the Manila Hospital project that the current administration began? Number 8, do you support proceeding with the Simon Sanchez replacement project despite procurement delays? Number 9, do you believe LGBTQIA+ people should have equal rights, including marriage? Number 10, do you believe improving Guam's public transportation system should be a top priority for your administration? And our final question, number 11. Have you ever had to stretch your budget to pay for enough gas to get to work the next day? All right, give them a round of applause, everybody. So as you can see, that lightning round was designed to just give us little snippets, not only of who they are, but where they stand on certain policies. And so for this last round, we are inviting you, the audience members, to come up with questions. If there's a burning issue or question that you have that you'd like to voice and have our candidates respond to, this would be the time. However, for this, due to our limited time here in this room, we will only have, hopefully we can fit a total of 5 questions for each of the 5 candidates. The answers for the questions in this round will be determined by the raising of your Guam flag. Only one candidate may answer a question. So again, after each question is asked by our audience participants, the first team to raise their Guam flag will have the privilege of answering. The answers will be kept to 1 minute when silence is given. Again, each team has a chance to answer a single question this round.
Only one.
Only one, okay? And it's going to be determined on how fast you raise your flag. And
Candidates, if you could please just don't touch the flags. The only time you can grab the flag is when Eileen or Tanya gives it go. So eyes on Eileen, go, then flag, okay? So let's see your shotgun.
Okay, ready. And do we have...
Okay, so open flag.
Yeah, question from the audience.
Okay.
Good morning, candidates. I just wanted to know, with the reduction of federal funds and reduction of local funds by 40 million, do you support additional reduction of BBT by 40 million?
Nice. Senator Talahi was the first to pull the flag.
The reduction of BBT was something that Senator Perez and I had actually both independent proposals to reduce it even further to 3% for small businesses, for more small businesses than those that had previously been receiving the 3%. That measure did not pass. That we were to balance that versus giving the BBT to only the largest, to the largest corporations, the biggest profit makers. And so we still want to pursue whether we can continue to give smaller businesses a better BBT rate. We also need to balance these federal declines in funding is really going to impact services to the people. They're already struggling. So I think that we're going to have a very good conversation that continues to take care of them as well.
Okay, next question. Anyone on the floor? Okay, it's Jake.
Thank you. If elected, you have to swear an oath to uphold the Constitution of the United States. Now, the Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals in the Davis decision ruled that an indigenous-only vote for status is unconstitutional. So, if elected and you have to take this oath, how will you resolve upholding the Constitution with our current decolonization law, and I believe it's GCA 1, Chapter 21, that calls for an indigenous-only vote with regard to status? How will you resolve that conflict?
Thank you, Jane. Political status and the Chamorro self-determination vote really has always been in the hands of the Congress. The U.S. Congress can make laws that overcome these barriers. That's always been the main path. And this Davis lawsuit, among other lawsuits, doesn't, or kind of showcase the fact that the Chamorro people continue to be unrecognized in their own homeland. There is precedence for the federal government to be able to empower indigenous groups to make decisions that are about their homes. You see that with Native American tribes, with Native Hawaiians, and with Native Alaskans. Our path is working with our delegate and being very, 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 very pushy with the federal government and the Congress. Thank you.
Hi, Health and candidates. I was really pleased to see all of you show your yes when the question was about improving public transportation on Guam. I see public transportation as something that can really lift our economy. The youth take it, the elderly take it, and people that can't afford a car use it to get to work, appointments, etc. So I'm really curious to hear one of your plans. How would you make public transportation actually work here on Guam? Thank you.
You know, not only do we need to improve the Guam Mass Transit Authority, which I know that they've gotten... There, that's better. We have the Guam Mass Transit Authority that I know they had federal funds come in to improve the transit system in Guam. But, you know, a couple of years ago, or several terms ago, it was discussed about having the public school system, the bus system, work together with mass transit. So those that are in the southern part of the island, for example in Molesto, that need to get to Tumuni, can ride GDOE buses from that point in Molesto all the way up to a certain point up in maybe Hoggett or San or PD, then catch the mass trans bus up to Tumuni. So it's about integrating our bus system here and seeing how that can work. Because I believe that it's done in Hawaii, where students ride the public school, ride the transit, in addition to those that are just transiting to different parts of the island. So it's something that we really need to look at and think about, because leaving any options off the table is not acceptable.
Thank you. Okay, I already have two assigned here.
Avade. Thank you, women. And my name is Robert Celestial. I have a nonprofit organization. Most of you know about it. Thousands of our families have died of cancer and are dying today. And a lot of them have gone off island. And we missed the boat last year when Guam was taken out of the bill in Congress because our delegate went to sleep. And I say went to sleep is because we got passed twice in the Senate. Guam was included. And then we were taken out. And then we have another chance this year. So my question is, whoever makes it into Antelope, we haven't really got the support with a whole unified delegate, governor, legislature over the past 26 years. Our nonprofit organization are cancer survivors. And we've lobbied Congress for so many years. And I've always wondered why our government really never fought for our issue. So my question is, what are you going to do if you're in office to get us into RECA, the Radiation Exposure Compensation Act? Thank you.
You know, a couple weeks ago, I met Bob and I saw him. I said, "Wow, you look so well. You know, you're well again." And we had a conversation and we started talking about you know, I want to let you know that I'm a problem solver, okay? I want to solve problems. And I was thinking to myself, how about a regional office on Guam? Or how do we get all these things? You know, we have over 1 million diaspora Chamorros who are made into the States who vote there and vote for Congress there. And if they all got together to call their congressman, whether it be at Utah or Nevada or Arizona, they can lobby for us in Congress, because why? They vote for the very people that make the decisions for us. I thought about it. I said, how does Manila have a regional office? And I thought about it. I said, oh, those people, all that live there, they still vote in the States. They still can call their senators in the States. And that's how we are going to make that happen. We lobby, we ask our 1 million people over there to help us out in that regard. Thank you very much. Thank you, sir, for that question.
My name is Bobby Benedetti.
And the last question would be to Russell. It would be to them.
I may have missed it. What's the latest on addressing the problems with our contaminated water wells? And you are all in positions of influence and authority. What have you done about that? And what are you going to do even before you get elected?
Bobby, thank you very much for the question. And I was at the meeting in Manila when it was first, one of the times that it was discussed about the Gilman being, contaminating our waters and where the sources were. And there were many factors that go into why it was in everything from the asbestos or the kind of concrete that was used and destroyed to the kind of chemicals that we had provided for or allowed for in the past. And so this continues to be an issue because, we have to protect our precious water resource. And I think that first off, out of sight, out of mind, and if you don't continue to bring it up, it's never going to be resolved. And so one of the things that we're going to continue, we don't have to wait until who the next governor is. You're right, this is an issue that has to be continued to be monitored, has to be continued to be demanded that we look into and find ways to be able to mitigate what has already happened and then to prevent it from continuing to occur. So this is not something, you're right, this is not something.
All right, let's get a round of applause. There's an amazing panel on all of the insights, all of the visions shared by each of our candidates. Very happy to bear witness to today and looking forward, wishing you all the best of luck this election season. One more time, thank you.
Many of us, we can only fit so many in the front. So we did have one of our founders.
Okay, so the live stream is done. Sorry, let me go back to that's interesting. That was a very interesting forum. It was the first time that we got to hear the gubernatorial candidates together answering questions. I don't think it was on the fly. It looked like these guys got the questions ahead of time because they had notes. Oh, shoot, sorry. They had notes about, let me reproduce this. They had notes for each of those questions. They had notes for, you saw Senator Tina Muñoz-Barnes always going to her notes. So they knew what the questions were. And so they had opportunities. I don't know for how long, but they had opportunities to prepare for those questions. I kind of don't like that, but anyway. So just straight away, my opinion, and everyone's going to have their opinions about who won for different reasons. But just in terms of who came to work, who had the most succinct answers that really directly answered the questions, I would give it to both Tony Ada and EJ Calvo. I would. The person who I thought related the most with people, at least just, coming up minutes from this, fresh from this debate, right? Like it just resonates with me. Maybe if I had more time to think about it, I might have a different response, but I thought the candidate who related the most with people was Dwayne St. And he was probably the most charming, among the most comfortable. And it's surprising because on that stage there are people who have had the spotlight on them in a debate, and they include Josh Tenorio and Tony Atta. They have gubernatorial debate experience. You would think that the rest of them would not be as polished as those two, but Dwayne St. Nicholas seemed to be a lot more polished than any of them on that stage, and a lot more charming than any of them on that stage. Interesting stuff. And then, of course, there's all the fact checking that needs to happen, right, with the claims about different about people's records and stuff. And I don't know if I have the time for that, but I'll have a more full analysis of how that forum went during the Troy Torres show tonight, or I'll ask Michael St. Nicholas to give his analysis during the reality check, or maybe Mike and I can do a show together. We'll figure this out as the day goes on. Anyway, it's already 10:31 a.m. on Thursday, June 11, 2026. I am a fat boy who is starving. I'm a fat boy in pink who needs to eat. For Kandit News, I'm Troy Torres. You all have a beautiful and blessed day, and see you guys later tonight for the evening show. God bless you all.